Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm ELO, certified numerologist of Light Bright Numerology. This week I'm here with another baby name video. So last week I did girls' names that resonate at the 2 energy. This week I'm doing boys' names that resonate at the 2 energy. If you have no idea what a 2 energy means, you can check out my growth number video. I'll link that in the description below. And I also have a ton of blog posts on the growth energy on my website. Just to make it simple, the growth number comes from your first name, and it represents the gifts that you have that you should cultivate as your key forward on your path. Now, the 2 represents diplomacy, it's mediation, it's flexibility and adaptability. It's a very soft yet powerful number, and it's ruled by water. And you can think how water, when you have a river, it has the capability to carve out canyons in riverbeds, and at the same time it's able to adapt to any container that you put it in. That is really the power with the number 2. So let's get to the names, right? So the first name on my list is the name Brett. Brett was originally a surname from Middle English, and it referred to the Bretons, or people who hailed from Brittany, that region in France. Now, Brett became very popular, particularly in the 70s and the 80s, and it remained fairly popular even throughout the 90s, and then in 2000 it just seemed to drop off. In 2017, this was ranked at only 749, so that's a huge drop off. People, for some reason, just aren't naming their children Brett anymore, which is a huge opportunity to name your son Brett if you want your son to have, be the only one with the name so he doesn't get confused in class or on the playground. And I think Brett is a very solid name. Everyone knows that name. Now, the next name on my list is the name Cody. This is another surname as first name type of name, and it became very popular, at least within the US, as a first name in 1982 when it broke the top 100. It stayed there in the top 100 until 2006, but this name too just seemed to drop off. And in 2017, it was ranked in at only 278. So it's a name that's in use, but you're very unlikely to run into another little boy named Cody if you name your son Cody. The next name on my list is Dylan, and this can be used for either a boy or a girl. It is still mostly popular as a boy's name. And this is a Welsh name. It's actually the name of a Welsh god. It's the god of the sea, so that's so appropriate for this 2 energy, which is all about water and that water energy. So the name Dylan has been sitting comfortably in the top 50 since 1990. In 2017, it did rank at number 29, so this is a very popular name, but that shouldn't stop you from using it if you really like that name. The next name on my list is the name Jared. And Jared comes from Hebrew, and it means descent. I believe that Jared was a close descendant of the biblical Adam, from Adam and Eve. And it's been in popular use since the Protestant Reformation. Now, this hit the top 100 in the US in 1975, and it stayed there until 2003. Now, 15 years later in 2017, and again, this is the latest data that the Social Security Administration gives currently, it ranked in at only number 385. So this is another name that everyone knows, and yet not a whole lot of people are using. The next name on my list is another very wildly popular name. Everyone knows this name, and it's the name Josh. This is another Hebrew or biblical name, and it means the Lord is my salvation. And this has been consistently in the top 10 since 1975. In 2017, it did drop a little bit to number 39, still very solidly in the top 50, very, very solidly in the top 100. So this is still a very popular name, but I still think it's a very solid and great name to use. The next name is actually the name of my brother-in-law. It's the name Julius. And Julius, we can always think of Julius Caesar. It's a Roman name, and it's also related to the Roman god Jupiter. Sorry, my camera died. So Julius just barely broke the top 100 in the 1880s, and it has been in use, but not very popular use since then. In 2017, it came in at only number 336. So this is another great name that people know, and yet is still unusual enough that your son will very likely be the only Julius that he comes across in his life. The next name on my list is the name Matteo, and this is the Italian form of Matthew, and so it means gift. The name really came on the scene in 1998 at number 931, just barely breaking that top 1,000. And it has been rising quickly, and I wouldn't be surprised if this were to be in the top 100 in the coming years. So now would really be a great time to jump in on that bandwagon. In 2017, it still came in at only number 187, but again, it seems to be rapidly rising in use, and I don't know how it ranked in the last 2 years until the Social Security Administration publishes that data. But Matteo, I think it's a great name, and if my own last name didn't end with an O, so Matteo Ilo, it doesn't quite work. But if you have a last name that doesn't end in an O and you like first names that end in an O, Matteo, I think, is a fantastic option. The next name on my list is the name Noah. Very, very popular. Again, it's another biblical name. It means rest or wandering. And it's also begun to be used for girls as well, but it is still primarily a boy's name. In 2013 through 2016, it actually shocked people. I know, drama and baby names, who knew? But it came in at number 1. It is still ranked at number 2, or at least in 2017, it was ranked at number 2. So Noah is wildly popular. It is by far the most popular name that I have on this list. The 9th name on my list is the name Shane, and this is an anglicized version of the name Sean, and that means God is gracious. This is another name that can be used for girls as well. That's kind of the theme with the 2 growth energy I've been noticing. But for boys, it has ranked in the top 100 from 1969 till 2004, so that's a very solid run. But in 2017, it only ranked at number 359. So again, this is one of those names that's falling out of use. The last name on my list is actually completely unranked. So this is the very opposite of most of the names on this list. It's the name Roe. This doesn't have a whole lot of information on it. It sporadically ranked in the top 1,000 here in the US in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, but it never really took off, and it fell out of the rankings in like 1920 or something like that. It is the middle name of a famous American football player, Lacey Rowe Campbell. That's about all the information that I have on that name, but I think it's a pretty cool name, and especially if you like short 1-syllable names, I think it's a great option. So these are my top 10 boys' names that resonate at the 2 growth energy. If you want to learn more about the 2 growth energy or any of the other growth energies, head on over to my website, www.lightbrightnumerology.com. Also, while you're there, you can check out my services, and if you'd like to work with me, that's also where you should go. If you have any questions or any name suggestions for me that you'd like to see a video on or a post on Facebook, leave a comment down below, and that way I'll see it. If you want to see more videos from me and you want to keep up to date when I come out with a new video, come out every Tuesday and Thursday at the very least, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click that notification bell as well, because that kind of helps with the analytics. Yeah, so have a light, bright, and joyous day, and I'll see you on Thursday for my miscellaneous video, and next Tuesday for my next baby name video. That would be girls' names at the 3 energy. Okay, take care. Bye.